All right, welcome to the stream. My name is Abhilash. Just making sure that this is working. As soon as I see that the stream has begun, I am going to start this session. Okay. Hmm. Mhm. All right, that seems to be working, and I can begin. I have. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we start. Welcome to the stream. My name is Abhilash, and you are watching the Unacademy's Creative Corner stream, in which we are going to build together using a software setup using Flutter and an iOS phone simulator and stuff like that. We are going to build a top-down racing game. We are going to be dividing this session into two parts, and we are going to ensure that we spend the first part, which is today, which is 60 minutes, 1 hour, in designing the visual aspects of the game. And we are going to spend the next session, which is in the next week, which is a 90-minute session. We are going to build, as in make the visual design work. Okay, we want to keep it fairly simple because I expect a lot of beginners to be in this session as well. I'm going to just click on this restart button, and I want you to observe on the left side of my screen where this iPhone simulator is to see what happens there. Yeah, here we go. As you can see, there's a blue box coming down. It hit the black box, and if you observe the score, it became -100. Now the red one hit it, and we are seeing that the score has become 0, cars says 5, and the game has basically stopped. Basically, these boxes are representations of the cars that we are going to use. We may turn this into any kind of game. Think of it like Subway Surfer, where you're just moving around in 3 columns and other things are coming at you. There are good things, which is green. There is bad things, which are red. And then there are neutral sort of things, which are blue. Let me refresh once more and show you how this is played. If I hit the blue one, I lose 100 points, as you can see here. If I hit the green one, I get 100 points, and that adds up. And I can keep moving between these 3 columns. This infinite racing game, as it is called. You can replace these boxes with anything, and we are going to eventually replace them with better looking icons or images or such. But getting the general idea is this: if I hit the blue box again, as you can see, I'm losing points. And finally, the red one is going to be the enemy, which is the one that ends the game. So if I hit the red button, red box, the game ends. It shows how much score I have got, how many cars passed me altogether before this happened. That's 16. And this is where we find ourselves. This is what we're going to build. We'll try and make much of this work, probably not the scoring bit today. We'll probably have these things moving around all around us. We'll get to that point. And if we are able to, we'll do what is called as collision detection using something called a hitbox. As in, if two things collide with each other, we are going to know how they are going to react depending on what it is. Yeah, how that makes sense? And here we go. Let's start with this. I'm going to get to a boilerplate code, and I'm going to paste it here. And if you've not seen any of my sessions on how to build mobile apps, you will know this is where we start. There's a lot of setup to be done in the past, but that's a one-time setup. I have got videos for that also. Find them on the channel here. Additionally, when we start with a blank screen. All that says is my new app, and it says ready, yes or no. Once you see that going, I think you should be good. So that's what we will try to do now. We are going to start from a blank screen, and we are going to build this what we just saw from scratch. Remember, black is the player, which is our you know car. Red is the enemy. If you touch it, game's over. Green is a friend. You touch it and you score points. And blue is bad guy, but not really as bad as red. In that, you're not going to lose your life, but you are going to lose 100 points that you have scored by getting the green, hitting the green box. That is the end plan that we have in mind, and let's see if we can build that from here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. If I restart, you will see once again that this is a completely blank app. And let me start by giving it a meaningful name. I'm going to call this app the you know racing car app. Is that what we're going to do? Uh, that's what we'll do. Instead of saying my new app, I'm going to say racing car app. Okay, or even better, uh, infinite racing app. This is called infinite racing. This genre of game is called infinite racing because there's no end to this. In that, the game keeps on going as long as you keep escaping from the enemies. The game will keep on forever. There's no end goal in mind. You just keep running, right? So with that said, let's start with this. This is the place where we want the boxes. And what we're going to learn today is we're going to learn something called stack, a stack widget. If you saw the previous session, we've used stuff like the container and column and row and text and all of that. We will still use some of them, but for the first time, I'm introducing you to the concept of a stack. A stack is a widget on top of which you can place other multiple uh, widgets. You can place, you know, something called a positioned widget, which means they can appear one above the other. Imagine a rectangle on top of which you have put another rectangle, on top of which you have put yet another rectangle, and they can merge with each other. That is what we are trying to achieve here. And we are going to get rid of this text widget that says ready, and we are going to add a stack widget. Okay, and the stack widget expects multiple children, so we are going to leave it like that. And what we are going to do is we are going to add a widget called car here. Obviously there is no widget called car in Flutter, so we'll have to build one. We are going to build a widget which is going to be represented by something called positioned. Okay, and I'm going to show that to you right away what I mean by that. The car widget is a stateless widget. Again, these are concepts that we have discussed in detail in many of the past videos that we have done. So I'm going to expect that you will watch some of them. A quick definition of a stateless widget is a, a widget, as you can imagine, is a rectangle or a box, and the widget that we are going to build, which is a stateless widget, means that it is not going to, you can't interact with the widget. It will not change itself when you interact with it. So that's what a stateless widget means. And how I add that is by typing something called STL, stateless. If I do that and hit on tab, I will be able to add one. So I am going to call it car. Although towards the end of this session, in the next session, that is the place where we make it work, I'm going to show you that we are not limited to cars. We can build other kinds of games using the same infinite racing concept. Okay. And what this is going to do is it is going to return a positioned widget. Okay. Positioned widget has two things. One, it has a child primarily, and in here, we're just going to put a sized box. I'll explain all of this in one moment as soon as you see it starting to work. I'm going to set that to height 10, sorry, height 100 and width 100. Okay. And if I save this, okay, there is going to be an expectation to put one car here. So if I put the car, the one that we just created above, and save this, what we are going to see is once we apply a certain color to it, there is a widget somewhere there now. So let me just uh, give this a color. I'm going to put the sized box inside a container, and I am going to say color is colors dot black. I'm going to explain all of this, so have some patience. As soon as I'm done and this appears on screen, you will understand what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. This black box that you see right now on the screen, this is what is representing the car for us. Obviously, whenever you're building something new, you don't want to spend too much time finding the right images and icons and making that work. You want to work with simple geometrical shapes like circle and square and such. And once the game logic starts working, you can always replace that with whatever you want. You can make it look like a proper car. You have options to select cars. We can do all of that later. But for now, I'm happy with a 100 by 100 square, which is black in color, which is a container, and that's put inside positioned. Positioned is the widget that I want you to carefully look at, because what I can do now is that I can have multiple positioned widgets, because uh, this accepts a couple more variable properties. One is called left, the other is called top. This is the two extra properties that a positioned widget accepts, and a positioned widget has to be put inside a stack widget, which is how we have built it. Let us start with this. Let me say 200 and then say 100 here. 200 left, 100 top, and save this. Observe where this box has gone now. Okay. What we were able to do is we were able to move this box from the center to here by giving it a left and top position. Left and top is what? Look at this corner here. Yeah. Where the body of the app is beginning, of the scaffold is beginning. In this corner, this is 0, 0. Okay. It's not here like we do in maths. In the computer world, the top left corner is the one which is 0, 0. And towards the right, as you move, this distance is 200. 200 left. Now, if I change that 200 to 100, you'll observe it moves here. If I set it to 0 and 0 and save it, it goes and sits in the corner. What we are now trying to do is that we are trying to bring this box somewhere here to act as the player, right? So let's try and bring it to the bottom somewhere. Okay, how we are going to do that is we are going to say left is equal to try 200. Is 200 enough? No, 200 is too much. I'm going to say 150. If I save that, this looks approximately in the center to me. I'll tell you better ways to exactly center it, but for now I'm happy with this. Let's bring this to the bottom also. So I have to increase the top value. The top value I'm going to add. Let us try with 500, see where it comes. Okay, it's come this far. Let's make it 600. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy with this. I hope this is making sense, because we have not done much yet. All we have done is that we have just gotten this thing to work the way we want by creating. We went here, in the center widget, we put a stack, and we have just added one child called car here, where the car itself is a widget which has this. Now I could have done all of this if I cut this from here. I'll show you. Let me copy this, okay, and show this to you. Instead of putting a car here, if I had pasted all of this and saved, this would look exactly the way it does here. I can move around with this. Instead of 150, I could say 0, move it. I can do all of this. The reason I am using a one-liner here is because I want this to look simple here and all the settings and everything to happen on the top. So if I save this, the car has come back and we are good to go. Okay, I hope that makes sense. The very first step we wanted to do was to achieve the possibility of having a player representation of the car in here. Like I said, again, we can change this into something much better, and we are going to. Just to show you how we can do this, if I get rid of sized box now, if I cut this out and instead use an icon widget, excuse me, I can say icons dot let's say plane. Is there a plane somewhere? Airplane. There should be something. Airline, is that the one? Wait, let's find something. Okay, let's say airplane mode or whatever. That is a representation of a plane. If I do that, you'll observe. Let me get rid of this one and show this. I can make this become the plane, and this can be a game of aeroplane saving itself from missiles or something also, right? And I can have here the size also, where I can say 200, make it look bigger. We can get the positioning right, and we can do all sorts of stuff with this. The reason we are going with a simple box approach right now is that we are going to want to have control over the code without getting too bogged down by the elements that we are going to pick. Once the code starts working, then we are good to go to do whatever we want. With that in mind, let's freeze this as the position. And now I want another car to appear here, okay, in the center. Now I can as easily add this and save. Another car has appeared, but right now there are two cars sitting on top of each other and we can't see it because I have merged the position here. Okay, so what I want to do is that I want to say pass the position to the car and get it from there. How we are going to do that is by using a constructor for that car and basically say, you know what, I want this car to have a constructor which accepts a few variables. The bare minimum I want is that I want a var of left, okay, and I want a var of top. This values I want to pass from here, okay. I want to pass this from here to this constructor. How I'm going to do that is by saying this dot left comma this dot top. If I pass it from here, then I can actually use it here, okay. Again, if this is the first time you're seeing programming, this might seem a little confusing to you, but what we are doing here is that we are going to send from here some values. We want to say left is what's that, 150, and top is 600. Did we try? Okay, let me get rid of this second car now. Let's just put this much and save this. We have a int is not a subtype of double. Okay, all right. So that number that we have sent, that's not enough. We may have to do 0.0, 0.0. This should work. Yep, this works. So we are trying to send an integer value, but now we are sending a double value. Again, basic programming data types. I've sent left 150.0, top 600.0 from here, and now that value is captured here by this constructor and gets passed over to this one. Okay. Now, if I was to change my starting position from here and say instead of 600, make it 500 and save, this box will move and we are controlling the position of the box from here. I hope this step makes sense. First of all, we hard coded the value of the position of the card. Then we went ahead and said, I'm going to share the value with you. Now it becomes that much simpler. So if I say this, comma 0.0 and save, you will see there's a new car that can appear here. I can copy and paste this. And if I say left is also 0.0, I get a second car coming in here. If I go here and turn this, I'm guessing 300 and top is 0, I'm going to get a third car here. And with this, I think our overall structure is set. We have got 3 columns and so on. Now, obviously, I don't want it that close to each other. So I'm going to give it at least 20 here and move that a bit. And instead of 300, I'm going to say 280, move that here. Can we do some more work on this? Sure, we can. Are we happy with it? Probably yes. I think by doing 270 and rather than going 150, if I go 145 on this, whoops. Yeah, 145 here. Also 145 here. If I give this position, this looks like a system in which there is 3 columns and this box can move wherever we want it to. Okay. This is the bottom car, which is the player. Okay. If you want, I can type a comment here and say player. And this would be opponents. Okay. So now if I change this one to 20, this goes here. If I change this to 270, this goes here. If I change this back to 145, whoops, 145, it comes back here in the center. Now, our game relies on our ability to move this wherever we want it. If I tap here on this side, imagine you're playing with your phone like this, and if you've got the phone and you click on the right side of the screen here, okay, I want this car to move to the right. If it is in the left column, I want it to move to the center column. If it is in the center, I want to move it to the right column. If it is already in the right column and I tap on right, I don't want anything to happen. I want it to stay there. Same with left. If I press on the left side of the phone, if the car is in the right column, move it to center. If it is in the center, move it to left. If it is in the left, don't do anything. This is the simple logic of every game that you have played, which takes care of this concept. Okay. Now, some people achieve it by using a dragging motion like this. Okay. A swipe motion. If you've played Subway Surfers or Temple Run or games like that, you can scroll left and right. You can also scroll front and back. The front is supposed to make you jump. The bottom swipe is supposed to make the person crouch and run. So we can add that complexity, but we're keeping it simple by saying everything that is coming, we're going to go either left or we're going to go right. Okay. Now, one more thing that I'm a little worried about is that all of these are black. That's okay, but visually it's not the good place to be in. Obviously, we are going to replace these with actual icons with different colors. But for now, I want the ability to pass on the color as well. I don't want this color hard-coded. So I'm going to go with this and say var color. I'm allowing the color to be sent in by the user as well. And how I'm going to do that is that I am going to add another element in my constructor and say this dot color. And from here, I will pass that color, okay, and use it. So if I do this and use the value that has come in from the constructor directly, what I can do is that I can say comma color is colors dot black. Okay, I can do this, and let me give three distinct colors here. The first one on the left is that no, this one's the left one. The left is 20, middle is 145, uh, right is 270. This one I'm going to make it green. This one I'm going to make it blue. And this one I'm going to make it red. If I save it at this point, what you'll observe is that this is how it is looking. In fact, I don't even like the fact that they're touching the top. So rather than saying top 0, let me just add top 20 as well here, just so that we have that separation. So at this point, I have a game that looks like the things are set up. All that needs to happen is that these things have to start moving, and then I should be able to move this manually. Okay. And we know how this can move, because if I add this first one as 120, I will see this red one is moving. Now, if I make it 220, it's moved a little more. 320, it's moved even more. 420, some more. 520, some more. 620, some more. It's still in the screen though. If I make it 720 and save, almost gone, and say 800 and save, now it is completely gone. Now imagine if there was a way for me to automatically change the value of the top variable here. That's all we'll do. If we change the value of the top variable of this car, then we are basically moving everything, right? We just need to keep increasing. Let's say every 1 second I increase this by 100. Yeah, the top position, I keep the left same, I keep the this thing same, the color same. All I do is that I change the top number from 20 to 120 to 220 to 320, 420, and so on. And at one point, it is going to completely disappear. And that's all there is to it, right? All I can do is now I can come here and basically say at, you know, write a function here and basically say run this function every so many times. And the one concept that we really need to understand is something called set state. Okay. Set state will mean that the screen is going to be refreshed. And we can say set state or refresh the screen once so many times or whatever. And when I do that, I say you should have updated the position of the car by then. I'll tell you what I mean. Here we go. I'm going to say in here, I want to run a function that says start game. Okay. What is going to happen now when I start game? I want the car to start moving. For now, we are going to move all three of them together until you understand the concept. And once you understand the concept, we can generate or spawn the cars one at a time and then move that. Okay. Let's start with this. I'm going to say start game is a function that I am creating, and in there what I'm saying is that timer. Okay, so if I try to do timer dot, it's going to suggest to me import library dart colon async. This is a library that allows me to use a timer. So I call this, now the timer starts working, and I can say timer dot periodic, and it asks me for a duration. So I can say whoops, periodic. It asks me for a duration. Okay, so I say duration seconds 1. What am I really saying here? I'm saying for every second, after every second, do something is what I'm saying. What is that do something? That do something is, I'm saying move car. Okay. What is move car? I have not written that function yet. I'm going to write it now. So move car is the function, and in here I'm going to do something, which is I'm going to physically change the top position of this car. So far with me? We first created the cars. There's a player, and then there is a opponents. 3 opponents are there at the moment. Now I'm saying I want you to start the game. This init state function inside which I've written that is basically going to be run one time. As soon as this game loads, this one gets run one time. So in there, I'm saying, okay, let's start moving this car. I'm going to say, move this car, but not once. Move it every 1 second. That's what I've done here. I've said timer.periodic, which means periodically. How periodically? Once every second. Move the car. That is the instruction I've given my mobile app, that this is what you should start doing. Okay. Let's imagine what we can do with this. Okay. I need to change this variable. I need to change this variable from 20 to something. I don't know what that something is. Okay. And how I'm going to do that is that, let us say, we're only going to focus on this green car now. Okay. So I'm going to take a variable called green top. Okay. And we will come back and change it once more. So if I set a variable called green top and set that is equal to 20.0 for now, which means that value is sent here. Let us refresh this, okay, and see what's happening. Nothing is happening right now because we are not doing anything, except this 20 is not coming from a hard-coded value here. It is coming from this variable. Understand what I can do now? If I change this to 200, yeah, and I restart this app, I wonder why it's not moving. Hang on. Okay, so this moves here. So if I do this and save this to 20, that stays like that because we are not doing something called state. Okay. I need to take a moment to explain to you what state means. State means that this value is going to be updated inside this function, and as soon as it is updated, as soon as this is updated, I am going to say refresh the screen. Okay, let's see what really happens here. If I say set state, okay, and say green top equal to green top plus 20, if I do, okay, what am I doing really here? I am saying whatever green top was when you started, okay, every 1 second increase it by 20 is what I have said. Now let us refresh this and see what really happens. Do you see this? On the left, this has started moving. Let's understand why it is moving. There's a variable. That variable is going to be updated here. Set state will refresh this page, and now the new value is plus 20 of whatever it was, and it has started moving. Okay. How long will it keep moving? It will keep moving forever. This will keep increasing, except we will not see it. Once it passes this place, it's going to keep going, but we will not be able to see it. Okay, now it has disappeared. But trust me, green top has been increasing, and that's what we are doing. So that's what we are going to do for each one of them. Okay, I could do that with green top again, blue top and red top, but there's no fun in this. The real fun is when I am able to create these wherever I want and whenever I want. I hope this much is clear. I hope you understand how this thing is moving. Okay. And what we can do now is that now that we understand that we can move this, I'm going to comment this out. Okay. Save this, refresh this, bring back my green top on here. Now, again, like I said, today's session is not about making the full app work. Today's session is about getting the visuals right. Okay. And I'm happy with the visuals the way they are right now. You might feel this is all too basic, the way it looks. But like I said, the way it looks can be fixed the last. If you bother with making it look good right now, you will not be able to get the functionality right. Yeah. Okay. So let's now that we know that the green top movement functionality works, let us try something else. Let us try to move this box to left or right. Okay. But this time it has to be on a decision. I want to move it only when I want to move it. So, how I'm going to go about that is I am going to, uh, at some point, I'll have to go get my battery charger, I believe, because my battery is running out. But we'll see as long as we can go with this. Okay. I hope up to this point, you guys are clear what has happened. Okay. And if that is the case, what I'm going to go now is I'm going to take a small break at this point and explain to you about Unacademy and what offer we have going at the moment. This is what we have. This video, this stream is being presented to you by Creative Corner by Unacademy. This is a place where you get access to lots of stuff like this. Today, in this session, I am teaching coding, but there are so much more that is happening already. There is an artist's corner in which you're being taught doodling. These are live classes happening right now every day. There is an entertainer's corner in which we are teaching music and magic tricks. There are qualified and very, very good professional teachers who are going to teach all of these things. There is a book lover's corner in which we teach storytelling. Beyond school syllabus, there is Vedic maths, robotics, coding, which is what I'm doing right now. And there is another, instructor, educator who teaches that. We teach negotiation, financial literacy, chess. Again, it's an amazing sport to learn. Orator's Corner, we teach effective communication, debating, public speaking. All of this is available to you. If you are already a member in Creative Corner, then refer your friends, help them join this. You can use my code, which is Abhilash YT for YouTube, Abhilash YT10, which is Abhilash YouTube 10 to get a further 10% discount. Already, these are very discounted prices. If you see, 1 month is for 3,000, but if you get a higher version membership, for 2 years, you can get it for 25,000. For 3 years, you can get it for 32,000. That's less than 900 rupees a month for all of this. On top of that, you will get another 10% discount. And I think you're going to get a lot of value from it. Consider joining in if you want to learn all of these in detail. There is a 36-hour long in-depth video course that I'm doing on mobile app development. You can get access to all of that. Next month onwards, I'm doing a course on web development, web application development. You're going to get access to that and lots of stuff. Everything that is shown on your screen, you'll get access to that. What you can also get is you can get featured on YouTube, our Creative Corner channel, as a star creator. What you have to do is based on what you have learned today, right? Everything that I have told you, use that and ask, basically create a video of yourself doing it. Have somebody record it, maybe have somebody record you speaking as you explain what you built, why you built it, put some screenshots of the code you have written, all of that. Give us a video and we are happy to host your video as a star creator on our Creative Corner channel. Okay. The links are all there in the descriptions. You can join our Unacademy's Telegram channel as well. You can submit those videos into this link here. It's a Google Forms link. Again, all of those links are in the description. Go for that, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get access to lots of stuff. Again, January Carnival is happening right now. So every day from 4 to 5 and 5 to 6, we have classes going on. We started from 4th of January already. We'll go till 31st of January. There you'll be learning doodling, magic tricks, robotics, web and app development. I am doing a course there. I've done 2 classes already, starting from how to install everything you need for mobile app to developing a study planner app. I have 2 more weeks in which I'll teach you how to make it work, and I will teach you how to take that to the App Store. So come join that. That's free classes. Again, use my code that's in description also. It's Abhilash YT10. Do that, and you should be able to access lots of free information. Even better, come join the Creative Corners subscription, and you will get even more value from this. Another thing that's happening, this does not end with Unacademy. You keep getting so much more value. We have a free 5-day revision marathon. If you are a learner from class 9 to 12, come on 16th January till 20th January, where we are going to have leading educators cover all the concepts that you need in just 5 days. All subjects, everything is going to be covered. It starts from 10 o'clock in the morning and goes till 8:30 in the evening. So 5 days of that, and that is free also. So consider joining there, and you will have a lot of fun with that. That's the end of my message. And we can now come back to this. I'm just checking my battery once more to ensure, okay, I think this will last through the session, no problem. Cool. So to summarize, what we did so far was we built a car class, a stateless widget. We set left, top, height, width, and color. Specifically, left, top, and color are 3 things that we got from the constructor itself. And I created 4 cars, 1 for myself, the player, and 3 for opponents. And we just wrote a timer function and found that we can move the car automatically by increasing the top position. Again, we are going to do a much neat and cleaner version of this in the class that follows up. I think that's on Monday as well. It's a 90-minute class where we'll go even more deeper into it. But as long as you understand this concept, let us also build a way in which I can go left and right on this one. Okay, let's start with that. I'm going to keep it fairly simple. Okay, and set this as 2 variables. I'm going to say car left. Player left, I'll call it, just to be clear. Player left, and this one will be called player top. These are the 2 variables I'm going to take. And just like it is green top there, I'm going to start with this, where player left is equal to, I think it was 145.0 is the left, and where player top is equal to 600. Okay, and whenever we are making changes like this, we do a quick different number here to ensure this is working. If I save this, I see this has moved up, so these values are applying. That is 600. That has come from there only. And I'm going to change this to 245 and reload this. See if that works. Yeah, it works. 145 it is, 600 it is. We are good to go. And now what I have to do is that I have to find a way in which when I tap a button, I want the car to physically move. We know how to move that already. We don't have to do anything to player top. In fact, we can keep it saved here. The number we put here, right? I don't really need it, but I'm just using it any case. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to have here another function that says move player. Okay. And move player where? it asks for a direction. I'm going to say string. String is a text, and I'm going to say direction. If a certain direction is given in this move player function, what I really need to do is I want to say if direction is equal to left. If it says left, then I want to change the player left is equal to player left minus 145.0. Does this make sense? If this was in the center and I change that to minus 145, I'm going to hit actually, how much should I reduce? I should actually reduce 125, not 145. I hope you understand why. Because I want to bring it to number 20 here. Okay. And what I want to do is else if direction is equal to right, I'm going to say player left equal to player left plus 125.0. Okay, I hope this makes sense. This is what we want to do. You guys have to hang on for 1 minute while I go get my charger. Okay, sorry about this. All right, sorry about that. The laptop is back to charging now, and we are good to go. No harm done. And we've got this. We've got this thing where I am now increasing the player left position. I hope this is making sense because this position, which is 145 right now, as soon as somebody presses left, I want the car to go, player to go one step to the left. Okay. And if they press right, I want it to go to one step right. There is a small bug in this. We'll come back and fix it when we see it. How we are going to do this is that because it accepts multiple children here, I'm going to say, I'm going to add another button here. Okay, and I can do that wherever, but I'm just going to add one button to the left and one button to the right. And in fact, I'm going to do that in the app bar itself. Okay, I will use something which is a how do I say, a widget called row. Okay, you might have seen me using this in one of the previous videos, but basically if I want three things one next to each other, instead of using a regular text thing, I can put this inside a row widget. Okay, and I can in here, let's for display, I'll show you what I'm going to do. If I put left here and I go and put a text which is the right button and save this, what you saw is that there is a left icon text here, there is the text of Infinite Racing app, and there is a right button. Again, like I said, we are going to do a much better job of this so that you can tap on the entire screen itself starting from the next session. But for now, let's keep it simple. In the row, what I'm going to do is that I am going to say something called main axis alignment. And I say These things are all moved to the left and touching each other, right? I don't like it. I want them to be spaced out well. So if I say space between main axis alignment dot space between and save this, you will see that these two buttons, these two left and right arrows have come this side, and the infinite racing app, whatever, is in the center. Now, obviously, I don't want the thing to be text. I want this to be a button. So I'm going to use something called a material button. A material button is a button which, when pressed, does something. What do I want to do when it is pressed? I want to say move player to the left. This is the left button I am adding. And since we already got the concepts fine, I can just say move player left on this one. And it needs some text inside it, or even an icon, I believe, for the child. So I can say, let me add an icon, and that icon is going to be icons dot left arrow, arrow left rather. Okay, let me save this, and you will see that this small arrow looking thing has come here. I can make that look bigger by saying size, say 20. Oh no, not 20. I meant 50. So if I do this, this button is here. Now let me try and press this button. Nothing is happening. I will change the color. Oh, it did. I'll change the color. Color to colors dot white. As you can see, that thing actually instantly worked. It made the black box move away. Let me refresh this and show you once again what I mean. It's gone. Why is it gone? Because we are moving the player on press of the button. Let me add another thing, which is I'm just going to copy this material button here and explain all of this to you in 1 second. Let it start working. I'm going to put this here now. Instead of arrow left, I'm going to say arrow right. And in here also, I'm going to say move player right. Let me save this. And we have, yeah, another kind of problem. Let's do this and say min width is equal to 0. Just hang on for 1 second while I explain everything what happened here. So if I do this, this works. If I press on this right, the move player function should be working as well, and it should come towards the right. As we have said, player is, we are setting this to this. However, it's not happening instantly. Why? If I reload this, you will see that it can come back. Like I said, again, we have not used the set state function here. What does set state do? It refreshes the screen instantly and sets the value. Let me restart this, okay, and start with this black box here. Now if I click the right button, the what? Is this getting clicked at all or not? Not sure if this is getting clicked. Otherwise, the move player should be working. Let's see, where are we? It took the direction. We did reset. Hang on 1 second, please. On pressed. Oh yeah. Sorry. Again, my bad. Okay. Now this should work, and I'll explain what happened. Okay. All right. So this seems to be working well in that whenever I press the left and top, the left and right, the box moves to left and right. Let me explain everything that I have just written. Okay. I went to the app bar where it just said Infinite Racing App, and I said the title, I want this to be a row. What is that row? That row contains 3 elements: the left button, the center, which is the Infinite Racing App, and the right button. On press of the left button, okay, I said move the player to left. This is the syntax of writing it, okay, where when you have to pass a variable, you have to write like this. So I did this, and What really happened is that when this thing is triggered, when I click, this is in center, and when I click left button, this moved left. Why? It moved left because we have written this function to do that. It says if direction is equal to left, player left is equal to player left minus 125. What was player left to begin with? It was 145, and we moved it minus 125, made it 20. 20 we know starts from here. Now if I add right, it was 20, I added 125 to it, therefore it came in the center. I click on right again, it became 270, and therefore it moved here. The only bug in the situation right now is if I click a right button again, this added 125 more and it has went there outside of screen. Now if I press the left button again, it will come back. But this is not the kind of game we want. We want the car to be constrained or limited inside the 3 columns only. Okay, which means I need to add another condition here and say and player left is greater than 20. We'll add much better controls towards the next session. But for now, if I say this, if player left is greater than 20, only then move it to the left is what I say. Okay, I refresh this now. I hit left again. If I hit left another time, it's not going to move because player left is equal to 20 now. In here also, I can add the same thing and say if player left is less than 270, I presume. Yeah, 270 is where we reach the maximum. Only then do it. If I hit a right, it moves. If I hit a right, it moves. I hit it again. And as you can see, I'm pressing the button. It's not moving because this condition is not getting met. Okay. So what we have done now, if I was to summarize everything, we wrote about 120 lines of code altogether. And using this, we have a system inside which, let me turn on that move car once more, just so you understand what's happening. If I refresh, as you can see, I can do this. Okay, I can move around and this car is moving. Obviously, this car is moving like a snail. I can move it faster by saying rather than adding, doing this once every second, I'll show you another trick. Okay, you don't have to make it seconds. You can actually make it milliseconds. Okay, and 1000 milliseconds is the same as 1 second. If I refresh this, now what will happen is that nothing will change. It will work as usual. However, if I change this 1000 to 100, so basically I'm saying 1/10 of a second, you move 20. Now you will see that the speed is significantly faster. Let's try this again. This is what is happening. Now if I do this, I can do this. Yeah. Let's do this one more time. If I go here, now you will see it will pass through this. Obviously, we don't want that. When something impacts, we want it to disappear. Okay. And we're going to add all of that collision detection, as it is called. There's a hit box. At what point should it disappear? If it is green, then what should happen? If it is blue, then what should happen? If this is red, then what should happen? Also, nobody plays a game by touching on the top of the phone. So how do we bring, eliminate these arrow functions and make the screen itself an entire button? So this half of the screen is going to be one, and this half of the screen is going to be another button. So I can hold the phone wherever I want and I play it whichever way I want it. So that's the big plan I have in mind for making this work. So we're going to do all of that in the session we have scheduled in a stream on Monday. So do this much, build this much, come back, and we'll together make this app work. We are going to replace this with better images. We are going to add scoring. We are going to add lives. We are going to add, collision. And we are going to make this app better in many ways. And I will leave you at a point where you'll be able to do much more with it. Okay. And with that, I am going to scroll through this entire code once. So if you're watching this, you should be able to, you know, type by watching the code by pausing the screen wherever we want. Shahil, hi, I see you. And I'm just scrolling through this. As I scroll through this, this is where we built the car. We set the left, top, and the color. And height and width we have set to 100 because again, we are going to replace this entire sized box with something else maybe. Okay. And in here, we just did a start game in the init state. And that means it's going to be called once. I set green top to move the green, player left and player top. I don't really want player top, but I've used it any case. I've set the move car function, which is just adding 20 to green top every time it is called. And it is called every 100 milliseconds right now. Then we did a move player code in which we set state and said if direction is left, which is this button is pressed, and player left is greater than 20, only then move this to the left. For the right also, we did the same thing. If direction is right and player left is less than 270, move the thing to right. Then in the start game function, we just ran a periodic. To be able to call this timer on the top, we had to import Dart async. Okay, so remember that. And then we just built our game. We took the app bar in which we added a row widget, did a main axis alignment of space between, and put 3 children in there. The first one is a material button, which has a min width of 0. On pressed, it moves the player to left, and its child is an icon, which is an arrow left with white color and 50 size. The text here is just the name of the game. We'll replace that with scoring and cars passed and all of that. Hi, Anu. Good to see you. Material button, another button on the right side we added, which on pressed goes to right. Again, arrow right is the icon, 50 is the size, white is the color. Once the top portion is taken care of, in the bottom, we just did this center widget inside which put a stack. And we have 4 children in there. One is the player car with left, top, suggested on the top already in the variables. And the opponents are a green, blue, and red car with positions left and top given here. And that's it. With about 120 lines of code, we've been able to build something that starts looking like it might be a fun game. In the next session on Monday, a 90-minute session, we are going to have a lot of fun making this work and making this look good as well. Till then, I will see you. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. All right. I'm going to stop streaming now and I will see you in the next session.